guys. I have a little card for us to do. A little early. Let's see. Oh, my mouse isn't working. Hold on. I have a little card for us today. A Daisy Duck card. So, oh, come on. There we go. As you know, we've had all these cards I've been doing that are so cute. There they are. We've done the Up House, and I just shared this again yesterday. I shared this. I didn't have to film it again, but it doesn't have any words. I might film another one that I can upload into YouTube because I'm missing that one, but I have to double check. It might be in my phone, or even on my laptop here. So I'd hate to have to film it again, but so anyway, so here's the Up one, which started everything. Then here's the Goofy one that I did yesterday, and I just thought this was such a fun card. And then finally, this was the Minnie Mouse one I did the day before yesterday or on Monday. And so today, I didn't want to do Minnie and Daisy Duck like back to back. I'm like trying to change it up a little. So I just thought that would be super fun to do a Daisy card. So here is my Daisy Duck card. So if you watch the Minnie Mouse cartoon, you'll know that her house is like white, and it's almost like an Adobe style home. You know, it has almost like the Alamo, right? You know how on the top of the Alamo it's like rounded. I live in San Antonio, so like it's that like Spanish style like curve that happens at the top of the roof, and so her house is kind of like that. And so I thought, okay, how can I do that same thing? There's a lot more stamping on this card, a lot more stickiness and stuff, but it's still super fun, and I'm excited to do it for you. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. And I'm using an old punch, but you know, like I just want to share with you guys what I'm doing, because I just think sometimes you guys have the current stuff, sometimes you don't, but even if you don't, there's different ways you can make it happen. Actually, I should grab a piece of paper to show you. So this particular stamp makes this punch, which is the shape of the house, right? It makes this full punch, okay? Well, technically, I could do that same shape. So you've got this cutout shape here. Well, technically, I could take, you know, cut a piece of rectangle and take a circle punch, a smaller circle punch. You can, you know, depending on what you have. This is a 3 3/4 one that I have from before. And you could actually just punch out the corner here, punch out my corner over here. It's going to be a little tricky to get it just right, but as you play with it, you can get the sense of what you need. You know, like I'm sure if I drew some lines, like drew a line across of how deep I wanted this to go, I could get it perfectly aligned. So this is another way you can make that same shape without having this particular punch. So that's something to think about. Just something to think about as you're making your stuff. I'm going to use my little punch, but you can always do this on your own with other stuff. So I'm super excited to show you my new card. So first things first, we're going to stamp our house, and that takes a lot of little finagling. So that part is a little tricky. So first we've got to cut out, oh, that's it. First thing we've got to do is we got to punch out our label. Okay. Then I'm going to get a scrap. Well, I don't need to get a scrap. I can just stamp on this. So we've got, or not our label, we punch out our little label that's going to become a house. So I've got that first. Then I'm going to take my house card and our house stamp. And remember the stamp I used before for Minnie's house? I'm going to use that now for Daisy's house. But how am I going to get this onto this? Well, actually, you know, I don't actually want all the same design on this house that I want on it here. I actually want it to be different. So I don't want this swirl on the top, and I don't want the scallop. I actually mainly just want this part in the middle here. So It's called masking, if you don't know what masking is. And so thanks for tuning in, whoever's watching. I can't see it. I don't have my phone like right in front of me, so I can't see it. So I'll put my, so I just take sticky. You can also buy masking tape that we have. Like it's like a very light tape that you can buy from Stampin' Up. And so I'm covering up all my parts around. It looks really fussy, but it's not, because I'm only doing this like once, you know. I'm not making like, if I was to do this assembly line, I don't know if I could do all this. Because that'd be a lot. But I'm just doing this once. Actually, I'm doing it 3 times in order to have all my videos. But because I had to make my sample, and then I have to do it for you guys live. But that's okay. I'm not going to make like 1,000. And so, get my sticky note all ready. Then I'm going to take my ink. And I'm actually just going to turn my ink pad upside down. And just ink it. And then I pull these off. Oh, it didn't ink all the way. I can see it's missing a little bit on the top there. Okay. You don't want to squish too hard down because that actually creates a different kind of problem. And so then you remove this, and it's starting to dry already. So go ahead and just breathe a little on it. And that's usually enough to get it to where you want it. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and put a little piece of masking tape right here on the bottom, because well, no, I guess that doesn't really matter. I didn't want that. Okay. And I want to align my door at the bottom of my, little tag. Okay. Cool. And I didn't get any, it dried a little bit, started to dry a little because I let it sit a little too long, but it's okay. So now, in order to get the, it was a little tricky. How did I do because I wanted to have, in order to have the house in the middle, I trimmed a little piece that was as big as the door. Oh, that was a little hard. Okay. So let's see, because it's a little tricky to like try and get it totally masked for the door. I think I might have done it though. Let's see. I just have to keep cutting it. I might actually, you know what I think I did is I think I just masked. I think this was too hard. I think I actually wound up masking just the one window. I think that's what I did actually, because it's a little hard to try and mask just the 2 windows, but because I have it centered, it's a little off center actually. I think let's do this again. So I'm going to cover up the top here. This part comes off the tag, so let me do this again. I'm going to flip it over because I want it a little more centered. I think I got a little distracted, and my block is not centered either. So we're going to do it twice. All right, so we'll get my little sticky note on here. Get this one over here. You just have to make sure you mask off any lines that you didn't want. And I just did a little too much talking, and that made it where it started to dry, and so it looks actually kind of messy and bubbly. And the other windows are going to look good and clean and crisp. And so, you kind of want to like have it consistent. So let's try this one more time. Okay. Oh, that's plenty. That's good. That looks really nice and inked. Right, so then we'll put and get it right down below. I think it's much more centered now, maybe. It's still a little off on the side, but it's okay. I've got some, I did it again. There's all this inky mess I got on it. Okay, where's my piece of white? This is bugging me. Normally I'm not this obsessive with it, but today it's really bugging me. So normally I'm just like, good enough, done. But I think because it's going to throw off the windows in the other parts, and that's the part that's so tricky. So, third time's a charm, you guys. Let me clean it off real quick. Or, no, I didn't want to get it wet because the ink, sometimes when you get it wet and clean it off, it actually makes the stamp, like, you have to wait till the stamp dries sometimes. Okay, we're getting there. Anyway, all right. So this is my house series. I think I know what my next series is going to be. I kind of like doing these series because you don't want to repeat, but I think this is kind of my style, to just do a bunch of cards of similar style, but all different themes, you know? Like I kind of, to me that's kind of fun because I can think of all these new ways to use the same set. And I think that's a fun idea. Okay. There we go. Good. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to, before I ink it, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this is centered. So I want it to be, I think that will be okay. Okay, so I'm measuring where I want to put on the sticky note. I'm putting where I want my, this is only 1.5 inches wide, and it keep going off. And so let's see. To help just keep me in line, a little more in line with the center, because I think the white possibly is part of it. So I just marked off 1/8 of an inch on both sides. 1/4 inch is too much. Yeah, 1/4 inch would be too much, and I'd be stamping on the Post-it. So this is straight, is crooked. 1/4 inch would be too much. So just 1/8 of an inch seems to be just right. And that way at least my label is already marked off. So once I get the black ink, I can center it in between the yellow lines as opposed to trying to look at the white, because I think that's kind of throwing my eye off. I don't remember it being this hard the first time I did it, but I might have just been more picky when I did it the first time, or less picky when I did it the first time. But for some reason while I'm live, I decided I'm going to be super picky. All right. And I know I should be using smaller sticky notes and it's a waste, yada yada, but you can send me a hate mail. That's fine. All right. Perfect. I think those little sticky notes, yeah, that helped me center it really nicely. Yeah, that's much better. See, yeah, that really helped me center the door right in the middle because I was having trouble. I was really struggling to get that. So then I'm going to do the same thing again. And I know some people might say, well, you reuse the sticky notes. The problem is that the sticky notes are all covered in black ink. If I want to be covered in black ink all over, yeah, I'll reuse the sticky notes, but it's just not very practical. So I'm wasting paper. So I'm wasting all the paper. The hippie in me has died, I guess. I went to school at Humboldt State University. Well, it's now called Cal Polytechnic University Humboldt, at Humboldt. And my sister graduated from there too, so it's kind of neat. Anyway, so I graduated from there, and I loved it. And so I'm quite the hippie in a way because of that. So quite a bit of sticking, but it's okay. All right. So now we're gonna get my door right above, my window right above the other one. Done. And now I'm gonna mask off and get the other one. I masked off this one, now I'm gonna mask off that one. That's how I did it. I was trying to remember how I did it before. I'm sure someone will think of another way that would have made this easier, but I'm just doing what I can. Okay. Oh, okay, I saved a tiny bit of the earth by doing that one. It's kind of bothering me that I'm wasting so much sticky note. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that is pretty wasteful. So I think the masking tape is much better. You waste far less stuff. All right, and we'll get my window aligned with the other one over there. And right on top of the thing. So again, I'm basing this on the cartoon. And then I'm gonna mask off this one more time. Just masking it off. And so just getting all that masked off. Perfect. And then I'm going to center it right in the middle. So Daisy's house in the cartoon TV show, I think it's called Minnie. I don't think it's Minnie and Friends. I know there's Mickey and Friends, but it's Minnie Mouse, not Minnie Mouse House, but it's Minnie something. Okay, I'm saving these ones, you guys, so I didn't totally waste every single sticky. I'll save those ones for my next video. So perfect, got that all done. So cute. All right, so then you go ahead and I'm going to get my markers out here. Oops, that's not it. Oh, I had it in my hands. Sometimes, you guys. I had it right in my hands. So then I'm going to grab my little markers here. I'm going to use, I have to test because sometimes I'll mix up the, I think this is the one I use on the door. Let me double check. Yeah, I think it's that one. And then on the windowsills, I'm using purple because Daisy, I don't know if you know, but Daisy always has the purple bow or purple outfit and pink. She's always purple and pink. That's why it's funny that Minnie Mouse's house was all purple and pink, because Minnie Mouse rarely, well, she does wear pink, but to me, this doesn't seem like Minnie Mouse's house. I don't know. To me, it seems, you know, it's fine. It just doesn't seem very Minnie Mouse. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to use that one. I don't want that one. This is the dark Highland Heather. I don't know if I used the dark one. I did. I used this one. I'm looking at my original just to double check. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to take my light Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to color my door, because this is actually very Minnie Mouse, this pink. I thought it was bubblegum, actually. This is not the same color. Let me go get the bubblegum. It'll do. I just don't think it's the same color. I think it was bubblegum I was looking for. Or bubble bath. No, it's not that one. It was the dark bubble bath. I don't know why I thought it wasn't. We'll just make it a mix of the two. Oh. After all that stamping, I am just going to use my color lifter. So if you guys don't have the color lifter, it's this marker here. It's basically, it's alcohol. Oh, it's dripping. It's basically an alcohol pen, and it just kind of dilutes the alcohol marker that you colored with, which it's called a color lifter because essentially it sort of lifts the color away. But it still leaves a slight trace. It managed to pick it up this time, maybe because it's fresh, but if it's red or something like dark blue, it doesn't really go away. But for some, it will. And so it's called the color lifter that Stampin' Up! Sells. And so, oh, I should have held that a little steadier, sorry. And then we've got the dark fresh freesia that I'm using for the windowsills. And I don't know why, but I love the brush tip. I feel like I have such a better control of it. Okay. Went a little out of the lines there. It's because I'm nervous. Sometimes I'm not nervous usually for stuff, but for some reason today, I think because I messed up the masking. But that lifted it a little bit. So now the pool party for the windows. And you know, you can shade the windows, but I'm just going to use light pool party, the alcohol marker. You could use any kind of marker technically on this. I think I like the color that you get with the lighter blends than the traditional marker, because the traditional pool party is a little darker than this in the regular markers. Since I'm not needing to blend anything, I could have used the regular markers, but I don't know, I just like the lighter color that they gave. Okay, so we're done with the pool party. All right, so now to get the roof that I was telling you about. So, yeah. Okay, so to get the roof, what I did was I punched a piece. Is this enough? Yeah. So I punched another partial tag. Okay. Then I took my, I took a piece of sticky tape, and just to hold it in, not sticky tape, memo note. So here's where it was originally, and I'm gonna go down a little more. Let's see, where did I go? This is gonna cut the same shape, but a little less. It's just gonna cut the roof. Wow, I did that like pretty perfectly. I'm surprised. I did it like the first time last time too. It was surprising. Oh, that's right. So you punch it a little less and it gives you just the right shape. So essentially it was giving me the same tag, but basically I cut the tag a second time and I got this little partial shape. You know what else I did? I think this is how I got the other one centered. I didn't have to worry that hard about the daisy, door getting centered, because actually I trim off a tiny bit on each side Oops, let me get the scrap to show you. Because I want to have a little bit of a roof. Okay, yeah, I want to have like a little bit of a roof. So I think this is like 1/16 of an inch. Oh, it didn't cut it. I'm pretty sure this is only like a 1/16 of an inch that I'm cutting off each side. Yeah, it's about a 1/16. I rarely cut stuff that small, but check it out. So this is how much I cut off each side of the house. Okay, that's all. That's what I cut off each side of the house. So, and you'll see once I do that, it allows the little roof piece that I had punched to now pop at the top. So that's how you can also get your daisy door centered. I think that's how I got it centered on the old one, and I just forgot because it was several days ago when I designed this. It was over the weekend. So, and now I'm going to glue this down on the top here. Just a touch of glue. You don't want to go too crazy with this glue because, you know, it's white glue. It's not going to hurt it or anything. I just don't like having to clean it up on the cardstock. I do have a tool for cleaning up the glue too, but you know, it's always better when you don't have to. And so then you just get your little roof on straight. How cute is that? It's a little off. There we go. Yeah, there. That looks straight now. Okay, so I've got that. Throw my little garbage pieces away. Oh, my trash can closed a little. Oh, that's why. I was like, why do I need to go to the Dollar Tree? I was like, gonna get up early and go to the Dollar Tree. I have to go. I have to go. And I was thinking, as I got dressed to go, I'm like, why am I even going? I was like, I don't need anything. Why am I going there to waste money? I was going there to go get a little trash can for my friend who really wanted it. And you can only get them at back to school time, these little baby like recycling bin trash cans, you know, you can only get them at back to school time. And so I just totally forgot. So, but now I remembered. So, okay, so then I have this little bow. You know, Daisy has that giant bow on her head. Well, this is the gingerbread man punch. I have used this mainly for the bow since I bought it. I'm not going to lie. I also actually used these dots for something we'll do later, but yeah. So, punch the little bow out, and punch my little bow out. I'm going to glue that down, and then I'm going to add a little gem to it. But how cute is that? It's just so sweet. It's just a sweet little, to me, it's just a sweet little card with the sweet little design. I like this one, I think, more than my Minnie Mouse card. I think it's too much hot pink maybe, and I love hot pink, but I think it doesn't scream to me as being Daisy, you know, like, or being Minnie. But I don't really watch the show, you know. I just love, my favorite Minnie Mouse, if you guys watch me, you know that my favorite Minnie Mouse is the classic Minnie Mouse from Steamboat Willie days, you know, with the Pac-Man eyes, I always like to say, you know, the cutout eyes, and I just think it's so sweet and cute when she's that way. So I decided I'm going to decide on my gem in a minute, but how sweet is the little house? So that's our house for now. So we'll set that aside for a minute. Then I'm going to get my inside out. So this is my inside of my card. And then this, oh, I forgot, I put away the paper. This paper, for any of you that ordered already, this paper came from the mushroom paper that we had in the spring, but you can get other purple paper that we have right now. There's other different designs. There's even a pink one. I just went ahead and found this purple one. There's a pink check that I thought was a good alternative. There's a bunch of purple in this one, and this is on clearance right now. There's also a bunch of purple in, oh, there's a pink check in this. There's a checkered pink of this baby pink in this one. And then you could add a purple bow or something. I can't remember. I'm just giving you inspiration here. If you can't find the exact same paper, you know, you can just go find something that you think is pretty and coordinates. And notice how I rarely do like a matchy design, because it's not really my style to have everything completely the same color. By the way, how cute is the other side of this paper? I love ladybugs. So I kind of hate, I have another pack of this paper. I kind of hate to use this paper because, well, I hate to use it for the purple side because the ladybug is my favorite thing ever. I love ladybugs. I actually need to make some mushroom cards for my sister. So, yeah. So I thought, oh, this is cute. But the stripes are what I wanted. And you know, I used to save my paper, and there's a woman called Kylie Bertucci. She and her husband have sorry, my finger is itching. I cut my finger. I don't want to show it to you because it's gross. I cut my finger on the dryer. I think I told you guys the other day when I was trying to install my dryer. But now it's healing, so it's got like a scab, but that also makes it super itchy. So cute little layer, nothing too fancy. Then I went through my pink ribbon, and I found this ribbon, but I don't think we have this ribbon anymore. I think this one's gone now. I'm gonna look really quick just because I want to see. I'm gonna put in bubble bath. Yeah, bubble bath. So there's a few bubble bath things. Or is this still on clearance? Because it was on clearance at one point, but I guess not. Oh yeah, there's also some purple in the bee paper. That's the other one I was going to use. I don't know why I didn't use the check in the bee, because then it would have been like current paper. Let me grab it real quick to show you guys. I just hate showing you guys something that's sold out, but at the same time, I'm just giving you an inspiration. Come on, the paper's here. I just had it the other day. Because I use the bee paper for my Minnie Mouse cards. And I've got these cute little, oh, here it is. It's down here a little further. Here's another purple one. But I use this one for Minnie Mouse. This would have been perfect actually for Daisy too. But actually I think it's more perfect for Daisy than actually Minnie. And then there's also a purple check in here. It's in the back, I think. Maybe. One of them is like a checkered purple. Here it's a pink check, but there's I think also a purple one. I thought, no, I guess not. I guess it's just this pinkish check. I thought it was purple, but this is actually a really good one for Daisy too, because these are really very close to the color she likes. It just has the berry burst, so maybe you change the card up a little bit for its design. But yeah, this ribbon is gone, but I also thought that this ribbon would be okay. It's just I was almost out of it. This is the, what color is this called? It's the, not petunia. This is the new Pretty in Pink. This ribbon we have right now, it's on clearance, and this would be another option. Again, use what you have, or whatever you have from Michaels, who knows? You know, like you use whatever you gotta use. So, I love Stampin' Up. I'm never gonna say Stampin' Up products. I love Stampin' Up products. I'm not gonna lie. They're so good. I love them. I just love stamping. I love the idea of card making. Just makes me so happy. And actually, oh, I gotta get those cards from my friend Chelsea. I picked him up, and then I picked him out and then forgot to message her. They're in a stack over here to the side. So message her. I don't normally sell my cards, but you know, she called to see if I had any extras of, you know, because usually people want like a special design or a custom design, and I really don't do any of that. It's not that I don't want to help people with their cards. I'm not good at that kind of creativity. I'm good at creating my own things, but I have a hard time creating to order. Because like what I think looks really good, the customer could be like, oh, I don't like those two colors together. And then they're having you put two horrible colors together. And I'm thinking, oh, those colors don't even match. Like, I've just had some interesting experiences with customers and their designs. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. It's just not what I would ever want my name on. You know what I mean? So it's a catch-22 kind of thing. So I'd rather just make videos for you guys and see how that goes. So, all right, so let's get this angled. Cool, I got a good angle because previously I had a hard time getting an angle on my other card earlier. When I was doing it earlier, I had some trouble. So we've got our pink little bow. And I'm going to slide it a little further down. So even though oh, it's kind of tight. So on my first one, it was loose. It's still a tiny bit loose. So if you've ever tied a bow around your cardstock and it's a little bit loose, I'll show you the trick. It's still a tiny bit loose. Well, one, and if you've tied it in the wrong spot. So if I tied it right here and I meant to have it further over, all you do is you just kind of bend your cardstock just a tiny bit. And you just kind of wiggle your ribbon to the side just a tiny bit, and it'll slide just a tiny bit. You can't do a ton of it because you don't want to rip your cardstock, but just enough. I want this a little bit smaller. Just a tiny bit. Just want the loops a tiny bit smaller. There we go. I think that's okay. So then it's actually pretty tight, but what I would do if it was not tight enough, I flip it over to the back side and I put a piece of tape to pull the slack down on the back. And so, do I have any tape handy? So, where's the tape? There it is. And that's my cut hand. I gotta be careful not to cut it again on the tape. I mean, I went and got a tetanus shot. Oh my gosh, those things hurt so bad. I did not know a tetanus shot would hurt so bad. It was hella bad. Okay. Oh my gosh, so how cute is this? This card is perfect just as it is, to be honest. If I wanted to just send a card, nothing makes me happier to send a card like this. Just simple, basic paper and a slight little embellishment. That to me is perfect on its own. And I think just the sweet simpleness of it is just very nice. So, okay. So I have, all right. Okay, so then, so it was just a sweet, I don't know, just so sweet. And this is, so this was 4 inches by 5 1/4 for the Bubble Bath cardstock. The purple paper with the ladybugs on the other side, this is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm just doing this landscape card instead of the portrait card. And then the main Highland Heather card stock is 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So instead of my cards that I normally do like this, which is my favorite, I think because I like to tint my cards and stand them up, I don't really like them when they're sideways like this. I don't know, to me they don't look as, I don't know. For some reason I always just like them tinted. I don't know. So it's just my preference. So how cute is that? Perfect. So we can put some dimensionals in the back of that, and it's going to pop right there. Then let's get this done. I have a little piece of designer series paper, a little scrap. Let's see if I moved it, or I might have put it away. I think I tucked it back in here, or it's floating around somewhere. I had this little scrap that fell off, you know, like had been cut off the side. So let's go ahead and use that. It's here. I know it's here. I always like to put a little something inside my card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. Little cat hair there. Fun. So we'll just do a little glue. Nice and clean. And we got a tiny bit more stamping. So this label came from the, what's the name of this dies? These dies are retired. I just grabbed Something Fancy dies. I'm pretty sure these are retired now. But no, you know what? I don't know. These ones might not be retired because it has the honeycomb. I think they might have kept these. But these are the Something Fancy dies. And I just grabbed this shape over here and I cut it in half. Yeah, no, it's this one here. And I just cut it in half. And so, yeah, I think these ones might be retired. Let's search it real quick because I've got it open. Something. Let's see, something. No, those dies are gone. The nested essentials that I used on the Goofy card are still available. I just used what I had again. You know, sometimes you just got to use what you have. So let's do our tiny bit of stamping. And so I took this label. It's too big for what I need it for. And I just cut it in half. Just literally put it in the cutter and just trimmed it down. And then I used a stamp from this one and a stamp from this one. I got this stamp set from someone, like I know it wasn't mine because it's got a sticker here. So You're Just So Fabulous. I clearly needed this because just that stamp alone I need. And I used the thanks on the Goofy card, and you know, just thought it was fun. And so I got the hearts out of this one to stamp a little heart in the inside. I just thought that might be cute to add a little heart. Since I put the stripes over here, I think I'll put the heart, I think over here in this corner. I think it might be too much to have them both in one corner. Yeah, I think I'll put it in that corner. So that's little bubble bath hearts. Nothing, you know, crazy innovative. And then we need our Highland Heather ink for our label. And so for the You're So Fabulous, I'm using Highland Heather ink. And this is a rubber stamp, which can be tricky. So sometimes you just have to practice with it to see if you can get it straight. Sometimes there will be extra rubber on the side, or like it's just kind of like the cut sometimes of the rubber. And this happens with any company, not just Stampin' Up, where sometimes it's the cut will just be just off. So sometimes you have to trim it. Sometimes you get your sticker on wrong. It just depends. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink up. Get it as straight as I can. I have a trick if you do it crooked. No, that one's perfect. That one's not crooked at all. But even if you do it crooked, unless it's crazy out of control crooked, this one is a little off center, but I'm not dying over it. Like, it's okay. It'll be fine. But even if it's slightly crooked, a way to fix that is to add another stamp to the side. So if this had been crooked, what I would have done was I would have taken my Bubble Bath ink and I would have stamped the heart to the side. I would have stamped it here, and stamped it down here. I might have even stamped it like in the center, you know what I mean? Like, because what'll happen is it's distracting from the crookedness of what you did. Obviously, I'd be a little more organized in doing it, but it'll just distract from the crookedness. And so that's just something, a little tip for you. So there we go. Okay, enough talking, Jennifer. All right, we're done with that. We can glue this inside and finish our card. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Okay, we'll glue this inside. You're just so fabulous. Clearly, you are. I don't know what got me saying fabulous when I was younger. I don't know if it was from Ab Fab, British. I don't know if you've ever watched Absolutely Fabulous. I'm not sure if I got it from that. I probably did, because I used to watch that in college. And then when I started teaching, I used to call the students fabulosas y fabulosos. And I didn't know until I was older that Fabuloso is a cleaning product. I didn't know that actually until I think I moved here. I did not know it was a cleaning product. But, you know, again, I'm technically, yes, I am Hispanic. I am a white Mexican, or Mexican vanilla, as I always like to joke. But my grandmother always spoke English all the time. Like, you know, she was fluent in both languages and stuff, but we grew up in a pretty white household. So it's a different context, you know. And my grandmother, she was very, you know, she grew up in Texas. She was born and raised here in Texas, but there was like so much discrimination here, and there was a lot of, I think, trauma from living here. She never talked about it or anything, but I think there was some trauma from living here, like with the discrimination, the way she was treated, because she just really hated Texas, hated it, never wanted to come back. After her father passed away and her mom moved, they all moved to San Diego, and that's where my mom was born, and she never looked back. I think she only drove through here a handful of times, and she just never even wanted to stop. You have to stop, obviously, because it's Texas, and there's like nothing between here. You know, it's just such a long drive. Sorry, I put too many dimensionals. But yeah, I think there was just some trauma with that, and it was just hard for her. So anyway, so I didn't know about the cleaning product because I didn't shop in like Mexican stores all the time and stuff. So like, or Spanish speaking stores where, you know, it was, you would have that all the time. We just went to the bakery and we'd get stuff at the bakery. And anyway, I didn't know about the cleaning product. Random tangent piece of information for you. So I have to put the dimensionals here, not in the middle here, because I've got the ribbon. So let's go ahead and put our little daisy, get her squared on here. The lines actually really help line it up. I want it a little further. I think I wanted this ribbon a little further down, but it's okay. It's cute. I think I want it centered across. Yeah, I wanted that ribbon a little, like just a 1/4 inch down, so that it would be a little more centered in the corner. All right, so now we add our fun little gems. And I have these gems, and I have these gems. These are the purple fine shimmer gems, and we still have these. Now, and so I want to definitely use these. And so these ones are like Berry Burst. These ones are like the Highland Heather. And these ones are like the Fresh Freesia. And so, or this might be Petunia Pop, actually, a little. It almost looks Berry Burst, Petunia Pop. This actually might be Petunia Pop. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to take a couple of, I didn't like the light colored ones on this. I like the dark. And so I'll add a couple there. And I actually have, on my original one, I used one of these, but I kind of want to see what it's like, whoop, to have this purple one here. Do I want that there? Oops. Come on. I want that there. think I kind of like the dark instead of the clear. It's a little whiter too. I could actually even go with the lighter one. Let me see. Because it's against the pink. Oh yeah, I like that better. So I use the lighter purple here, and then over here I'm going to use the darker purple. And just a couple. Just to add a little more shimmer. Look at how shimmery those are. They're such pretty gems. I love the purple shimmer gems. They're so cute. And I'll put this away so it doesn't get lost. Okay, these were like leftovers. These, I think these are on clearance, or they might be sold out by now, but they were on clearance. These tinsel gems 3-pack. And these ones, I'm pretty sure we still have, which are the purple shimmer gems. And so, I love these purple shimmer ones. I should get another pack because I'm using quite a bit of them, which is good. You don't save them for the... Anyway, I was telling you guys about Carly Barducci. She talked about how, you know, people save their paper, like they save the good china, and like for a special occasion, but like just, you know, anytime is a special occasion. Making the card is a special occasion. You don't have to wait. And so I have taken that to heart and used that quite a bit. Mary Engelbright said that as well. There's a quote of her saying, you know, don't save it for a special occasion. Being alive is a special occasion. And so I think about that. So there we go. There's our card. Super cute. So there's our Daisy Duck card. So anyway, so I've talked about a lot of random things today, but I appreciate you guys showing up and watching and commenting, and you'll see, I'll share a short later, a reel of this. So, oh, and by the way, you can barely tell, but I messed up a little on the door. So I stamped it again and I cut it out and glued it. I had originally colored it hot pink, and this is my original one that I made before. And then I cut the door out and glued it on top. Actually, I only just noticed it because I was looking really close. But anyway, so have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And I appreciate you guys and all that you do. And to just share or like my videos or whatever. I just like sharing with you guys my ideas of my different crazy ideas. I didn't put a Mickey head on anything. I guess I could, but I don't think it really needs a Mickey head because it's Donald Duck. Daisy Duck doesn't have, but Goofy had one too. I don't know why, I just didn't feel like one. So good to change it up. All right, well, have a great day. Bye.